Welcome back to day one here at the Epic Land CSGO event. The group stages are now done and dusted, and we are here, myself, Icon, and Sneaky Beaky, to present you the first best of three of the evening. I am very excited for this first game, Sneaky. We've got EMPS. Sorry, excuse me.
That's alright.
Yeah, EMPS kids against the beautiful BLVKHVND.
Oh, goodness.
Now, these are two teams, Sneaky, that we consider to be the number one and the number two rated teams in this event, and they go head-to-head in the first round of the playoffs. What do you think about this one?
It's absolutely brutal. As you said, they're up there as some of the top two contenders for, if not the finals, definitely a top four finish. And, well, whilst this isn't an elimination game, one of these two teams will be going down to a ruthless lower bracket.
Yeah.
And I believe it was BLVKHVND who finished top of their group with
Indeed,
a 4-1 record, and EMPS kids finished second in their group also with a 4-1 record. So this comes down to basically round difference. Yeah. But I don't think anybody expected either of these two teams to be in the situation they're in right now.
No.
And well, it's certainly going to make for entertaining viewing, and that is why we've chosen to bring you this map here on the stream, and I am very excited to get into the swing of things. But before we do, we got a little bit of rambling to get out the way, and we also need to do the vetoes and our predictions. So, in terms of vetoes, I think they'll be coming up on the screen in just a couple of moments. But until that happens, oh, okay, we've got them here. So, an ancient ban, an overpass ban, and very fitting in the style of the maps we've had today. We've got a Mirage and Inferno, but we will be rounding things off on Vertigo. So what do you think of these map picks just to start us off?
Oh, bread and butter CS here, of course, on Mirage and Inferno, the two most played maps basically in the whole of CS history in the last few years. Anyway, if you remove Dust 2 from the conversation, I'm glad that we do not see Dust 2 in this series. There is no more boring map on Earth than casting a Dust 2 game. And Vertigo is a fan favourite, one that I like very much as well. So I think it's a great addition to the overall map pool. And ever since it was solidified in the pool, what, 2.5, 3 years ago now?
2018, 2019.
Yeah, I think it's been a great addition to the pool overall. I love this whole style of the kind of 3D using the bomb sites on different levels. There being an under area as well, similar to Nuke in that fashion. I think it just adds an extra layer to the game. And we are not going to be wasting any time getting into this one here. First map, of course, is Mirage, and that is the pick of EMPS kids. They're going to be starting over on that T side, and BLVKHVND, of course, the beautiful BLVKHVND indeed, they are on the CT side. We've got ourselves a little pause for the time being before we can get this one underway for you. But in the meantime, it's worth talking about the runs that these two teams have had. BLVKHVND kicked their tournament off in the group stages with an absolute blunder, losing to Sash AFB and the rest of the boys in a 16-12 fashion, and it was absolutely like the most passionate victory I've ever seen from a team at this event. Oh, the game started early, in fact, guys. We are already 2 rounds deep here. EMPS kids have started themselves up with that 2-0 lead.
Good gracious.
So we've missed the beginning of this one, unfortunately. But that's all right. We're here now, at least. We can recover the situation. So, what do you reckon about this one, Sneaky?
Well, again, with a 2-0 lead off the bat on a T side as well, that's a solid start. They've picked up the pistol, they've picked up the conversion, and from the buy we're seeing in front of us, we can tell that BLVKHVND, they were just on those pistols in the second round. Yeah. They didn't go for the force buy, and I'm personally a fan of this. It's often not worth it, you know. You throw away the opportunity of a second and third round when you go for that second round force and you don't convert. And so they have a decently strong buy coming into this one. 3 A1Ss, 2 Famises, a boatload of util, but they've also got to deal with Jack B, who's out early from Palace. They do that nicely, but Moshi will trade, and Cypher getting very aggressive. Does get cut down by Joshua. Was Fraser catches one more. It's a 3v3 already, but the bomb has gone down. What a lively third round of play.
Utility getting thrown all over the place right now. The flashes towards CT, trying to fend off this early retake attempt, but you can see already CTs are in position to go for this one. Zulu given responsibility of covering the bomb site angles while his teammates run through CT. Timo able to pick up the first frag onto Moshi, but a good move from Joshua will yield him 2 kills, and Crife's able to finish off the last kill of the round. EMPS kids, they take the first full gun round of the game.
And that was great maneuvering there from Joshua and a fantastic crossfire from Cripes in order to drag that third round over the line. And, well, with that, EMPS Kids, they're looking pretty strong in the early days of Mirage here. But one thing we do have to remember is this is a best of 3. This map will not be the decider, unlike the rest of the series we've had today. But Cripes, well, he's looking to decide this round relatively swiftly. Cuts down Zulu very early doors as Cypher catches Just there. And it's not looking great for the Pistols as Moshi catches Dexter. And, well, that's a nice headshot from Fraser. But that is all they're going to get for now.
Yeah, EMPS keeps bringing the fire here, the absolute pace in the 2 rounds that we've seen. They've gone for the straight, flat-out Palace rush. No utility to fend them off from that. And against the Deagles, they just want to get this one done quick and clean. They do only lose 2 players, not the biggest deal when you've already got the economy built up. So a 5-0 start for EMPS Kids. The guns come back out for Blackhand at this stage, and an AWP in Dexter's hand hopefully will be the difference maker here in our 5th round.
Speaking of Dexter, I don't know if the people at home know this, but Mal's just sent Heroic home from IEM Cologne.
Unbelievable.
A 2-0 as well, after Heroic threw a 12-3 half on Vertigo. But enough of my ramblings about IEM Cologne. This is IEM Kettering, and Jack B will be opening up with an AWP of his own. 5v4, make that 5v3 as Joshua finds another frag opening onto the A bomb site. Fraser with a trade keeps things competitive in the round. But Blackhand, oh, they're going to struggle with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So we found ourselves in an interesting situation. We can see right now Fraser making a move, taking that deep ramp control, and that's at least going to hand over some information to this B player in Zulu. He's going to be well aware that the players on the T side are headed in his direction right now. Interesting that we don't see a rotation from Dexter. He was holding connector from T spawn, or sorry, CT spawn on the ticket booth, but now deciding to rotate on over. He has to be very careful of Cypher here in the window, because if he makes any noise, then Cypher's just going to call this rotation of his teammate into this A bomb site, and in fact that's exactly what's happened. He's even caught Dexter on rotation as well, and the A bomb site is completely open. Blackhand have no choice but to save their rifles.
Yeah, that was a great round from EMPS Kids again. 4 left alive, and it's looking like it'll stay that way. They also have the money to go and hunt. If either of these 2 CTs die, it will be catastrophic for the economy. But what I really like there, this Fraser, he had the right idea. He was coming round through T-spawn. He was going on a flank that would have resulted in a bit of a pincer. And so they could have cross-fired for the initial B execute. But with the AWP going down, it's just a bridge too far in the round. If he'd have killed Cypher with that AWP from T-spawn, this round could have been from CT-spawn. This could have been a different story. But yeah, he's just so clean with that headshot in towards the murder hole, and well, it's called the murder hole for a reason. And EMPS Kids, off the back of that, they pick up 5 rounds, and 5 in a row at that.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the way EMPS Kids manoeuvred around that round. You could see that they left enough time just to place a little bit of doubt into the back of Blackhand's mind. They didn't peek into the connector angles while Dexter was holding from tickets, so as far as Blackhand were aware, they had all the information that they had lent mid-B, but just as they turn and face in the other opposite direction, they get shot in the side of the head. Round done and dusted. So here we find ourselves in round number 6. We've got a bit of an interesting buy here for the Blackhand side with Dexter on a scout instead of an AWP, but the rest of the boys are on rifles just the same. Joshua with some early aggression and immediate trade from Moshi, but now Timo on a bit of an island here, manoeuvring quite awkwardly, but Cypher's able to trade, and an A bomb site now in the hands of the T side.
Well, not quite. They're not quite in a position in which they can plant the bomb yet, with Joust there making his way through CT. A flashbang rains on over. It allows him to cross behind Ticket, but he's spotted in the process. And with that, Cypher finds a kill, but a great HE will trade on over. That means the bomb can't be planted, and this throws EMPS Kids into a bit of a tumultuous scenario. Moshi peeking round stairs, knows there's one towards connector. The jungle swing comes on in, but he decapitates Zulu and keeps on fighting. Keeps Dexter at bay, and he only has a scout and 14 HP, and now none as Jack B removes him from play. 6 rounds in a row now for EMPS Kids as they are styling on Blackhand.
Yeah, they really are. They're not shying away from any fights right now, and I like the pacing that we saw there. Yes, you were right. They didn't have full control of that A bomb site, but what they did was they waited with that site player in a safe position, got some information as to the first retaking player, and they were able to coordinate themselves very effectively there in the end. Now, it looks to be the fast B rush. Jack B leading the charge on the AWP, gonna hold that cross early on. Cypher the first man, feet to touch the floor, hits the ground, and Joust there with a massive 3k hold has turned this round right on its head. Crife's in a 1 versus 4, and he's hit the ground already. Finally, Blackhand put a round on the board, and a dominant one at that.
Yeah, that was very impressive from Joust there, locking down that B bomb site with an impeccable 3k. The smokes that EMPS kids were using actually came back to bite them, as it isolated Joust there in an advantageous position. He sprays them down as they jump out the window. And, well, that round goes out the window as well for EMPS kids. But it's about time that Blackhand put one up on the board. This is their CT side. They've really been struggling, and their economy's not doing fantastic either. Timo choosing to stick on a FAMAS because of below money, and Moshi and Zulu starting this round strong, but Joshua through the edge of the smoke catches Zulu, and it is carnage! 2 for 2 in terms of fragging across both sides here. But Kreitz and Moshi pretty low on HP here. They definitely come out worst in the fray. And with that, a lot of utility used by both sides.
Yeah, a bit of a mid-round pivot here coming in from EMPS kids. They've shown their hand towards middle. They've won the fights. They've got the trades, although HP does advantage the CT side. And Timo going hunting for information at ramp has found the timing perfectly.
Oh my.
3 kills on the FAMAS from Timo. A lovely little shutdown there. And now Blackhand are getting their foot really in the door in this game. We can start talking about how they can come back into this half. Still an opportunity for them to win this one out at the halftime. So we'll see.
Am I correct in saying that Timo is the newest addition to this Blackhand
You are indeed.
squad?
He's replaced Reese.
Yeah, they're the only pre-made squad at this event, I believe.
Only one who we would consider a favourite, yeah.
And, well, with that, he's been proving himself quite nicely so far. As we said, they did finish top of their group despite that upset in their opening game. And I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a proving ground for Timo on his own, but more of a reaffirming ground for the roster as a whole. This is their event to lose, as we've discussed. But there is still some stiff competition, with EMPS kids being one of those teams that could well steal away their title from them. They've got some great names here. Cypher from Into the Breach. In fact, everyone on this name, including Christ, the former Epic LAN winner.
Yep.
He's one to look out for.
Holds the title right now, and Blackhand are looking to rip it away from him here. And I think that Blackhand they still have to prove to themselves that replacing Reese with Timo was the right move for them. I don't think that they're convinced, and I don't think that the community is convinced either, because so far they've been a little bit shaky. A win here would at least show what they are capable of, and going forward it give them some more confidence, right, to go into these mid to late stages of the playoffs, and then they can really talk about them winning this one.
Well, quickly, that point aside, Yelster goes for a bit of jump spotting towards a B apartment, sees an AWPer and catches Moshi. Huge advantage for the CTs here, and Fraser, he's playing on Ninja. What an incredible play from the man! Another 3k in the B bomb site defense. He is an undefeatable turret.
I love the way Joust there pivoted around that site pillar there. Knew that Fraser was covering his right-hand side. Did not have to concern himself with that position whatsoever. Just cover towards the short side to make sure that Fraser can't get caught off from that angle. And just a well laid out play there from the Blackhand boys. Now we do see a pause coming in, and I hope that this is a tactical. It says technical there, but I'm not quite sure on that one. It would be a good time to call a pause if you're on the EMPS kids side. The money's in the bin right now. They have to consider, what do we want to do going forward. Obviously the call at this stage is to just chill out. We'll save our money. We'll go for the full buy in the next round, and maybe we can see Jack B pull out the AWP if he can get a kill or two as well. But there we go. Pause been and gone. I'm going to assume that was attack, judging on how long it lasted. And just the Deagle's in play here for EMPS kids in this one.
Oh my, Joshua straight out through the flames, and he's going to get headshot by Dexter. A valiant effort, quickly shut down.
Got to respect
it. Well, Fraser, that's pretty much a freebie onto Christ there. Zulu walks his way into middle. Is Zulu just a muted player name, or is that actually the name of the player here? As Moshi will decapitate said player. bringing us into a 4v2, but again, not a particularly winnable scenario here. And oh, Jack, that's a rough one. Classic missing the window jump, and with it just gives up his positioning. I think that these two Deagle players are not too much longer for this world. Jack B and Moshi, they do actually take one apiece with them to the grave, which is decent economic damage to the CT side. Zulu can't rebuy without a drop. But otherwise, I won't say convincing round win, but at least it didn't get out of control for Blackhand there.
We may see those 3 kills coming back to bite Blackhand later on. If they were to lose this gun round, for example, or the following, then we may see that influence come into play at that stage. A bit of a faster approach towards middle here this time round for the EMPS kids. Jack B with the information as to the player on catwalk, but he's managed to scarper away with his life. That's Zulu for the time being, backing on away. And I wonder at this stage, what sort of manoeuvre do Blackhand opt for? They know that they've conceded this mid-control. They have to get some information elsewhere on the map at this point.
Would I be correct in saying that Reese was who we casted earlier, losing 16-2 on Nuke?
Indeed, it was.
So, ooh, that was a bit rough. But that's also pretty rough for Christ. Great shot there from Dexter. Jack B does thankfully trade it out, though. Seems to be a battle of the AWPs for the entry frags in this map thus far.
Absolutely. Dexter is a very, very well-respected AWPer in the UK Counter-Strike scene. Jack B is someone who kind of hops in and out, but his raw talent has never been questioned by the community. He's a name that has been around for a few years now, and he's always able to bring a level of consistency to his AWPing, even though he isn't always playing Team CS. He tends to take common breaks, he comes back, he still plays well, he'll take a break, he'll come back, he'll play well, but he just doesn't stick around long enough, you know?
Well, Timo, he won't be sticking around for long either. Cypher quickly removes him, but again, it's the AWPs with so much impact. Dexter in with a massive double, and Zulu chimes in for one more. Moshi in a 1v3, and with 20 seconds on the clock, well, the bomb can be planted here. But instead of planting, he will go for a fake and walk straight into the open arms of Dexter, who bags his 3rd or 4th kill of the round. Just very spicy from the man from the CT spawn position. And now heading into a very close scoreline. EMPS kids cannot afford to rest on their laurels. Albeit 6 on a T side is pretty good. Yeah, they do want to, well, from the start they had put 7 or 8 up here because they were looking like they would trounce this half. Yeah,
what was it, a 6-0 lead?
Yeah,
now
6-0.
to a 6-5. So Blackhand are going to be very pleased with themselves to get to this position. EMPS kids still have work to do. They, of course, can still turn this half around and end up with the win here, but the momentum's fallen by the wayside for them for the time being. Zulu taking his 1v1 fights in middle, has done a great job of isolating his angles against the low buy, of course. Not the most impressive kills in the world, and he knows he doesn't want to take that fight because that can be a precarious one. So, Crifes and Cypher. Crifes able to recover an M4. Cypher, of course, a nice clean scout shot to the face is all it's going to take a player down. And a nice manoeuvre here from Cypher through the smoke. Rips Timo's head clean off. And now only a 1-man advantage for the Blackhand side. Makes that no-man advantage as Cypher goes for 2. Splitting now into the B-bomb site. Joust there being called upon.
Do they clear him? They're not going to. That's the bomb dropped. And now it's all up to the scout Deagler. And he's missing the quick scope by narrowest of margins. Joust there again, the kingpin of the B-bomb site.
Yep.
All 8 of his kills have been multi-kills on the B-bomb site. 2 3Ks and a 2K. And, well, I think the key is to draw him into middle where he's more vulnerable.
Blackhand have woken up, man.
Yeah.
We started the game and we were thinking, wow, EMPS kids, they're running away. They're bringing the power into this game. And now Blackhand answering back with some power of their own. They have absolutely shown what they're capable of here on the CT side, and hopefully going forward, we can see that this, of course, is EMPS kids' map pick. If they're able to take this one away, we could be seeing a 2-0 here. As I say that, Joshua's woken up with 2 quick kills. Aggression through the B apartments has gone very wrong for the Blackhand side, and now they have to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, Crifes is going to deny any piecing together of this round. Cypher, my goodness, he seems to be everywhere. And was that a jumping orb shot from Jack B?
No, that was a different player jumping.
Okay. I was going to say, god damn. That would have been shot of the tournament, surely. But it is 7-6 now for EMPS Kids. They really let Black Hand get back into this first half. But thankfully they put a stop to the incredible 6-round streak they were able to string together. And Jack B, oh, he sees a man crossing, but through the Molotov just doesn't quite have enough vision to land that opening frag. And Moshi, well, he's going to try and do the same in top mid. They realise there's a player outside of Connector, but it's Dexter instead above the one-way smoke to cut down the miscreant of Cypher. And now in this 5v4, well, the CTs again have an advantage, again looking to equalise this scoreline. As EMPS Kids, well, they've been particularly salacious in round count on this T side already. Black Can don't want this to spiral into anything more.
Yeah, so EMPS Kids, they have full control of middle for the time being. They've got very, very little information toward their extremities, and they know for a fact that they need a clean entry here onto this A bomb site. Dexter being challenged, and he's able to take 2 down with him. Fraser's rotations perfectly here in time, and now Jack B thrust on into what was a 1 versus 4, now a 1 versus 3. Bomb collected. But he's got to maneuver his way through 3 CTs here. They've heard him get into the window room. He might be able to isolate one of these fights, but Joust there shuts him down. We're all tied up after 14 rounds, and it's anyone's game going into the final round of the first half.
And that was a great double swing setup there and towards Market as well. As soon as they have the information on his position, they want to make sure they secure that round. They don't need any unnecessary deaths, any unnecessary heartaches. And with that, yeah, equalised scoreline could not be closer coming into the end of this first half. And Jack B, will he finally get a cross kill? Well, there's already 2 in Connector, and Dexter, talking about cross kills, will catch Christ trying to get up catwalk early doors. And Moshi, well, runs back to the door to grab the bomb. Is he going for another mid-peak alone with the bomb? Could be pretty risky. As Fraser is there ready and waiting for another Connector multi-kill, but no, not just yet. As EMPS Kids will slow things down, and Black Hand, they're not going to overextend. They keep that man advantage until they don't.
Patience from Jack B there, goes for the double scope, makes sure that he's able to hit that shot with no problems whatsoever, but this B hit is getting shut down. Joust there once again with his name in the kill feed, and Moshi thrust on into the 1 versus 2. Bomb goes down in the default position, but Dexter doesn't want to let him get out of this position here. If he can pin him into the site, they know exactly where he is, and a well-played 1 versus 2 from the Black Hand side. They will go into the second half with a 1-round lead, considering they started off 0-6.
Now, I would argue that that is a misplaced smoke from Moshi. I think allowing him to get back to Van or maybe to bench would have been a more concerted effort with that smoke. He could have smoked short as well, just to give himself a little bit more maneuverability on the
right-click
side.
it in the middle of the site,
exactly.
play around it.
But instead he smokes off towards market door / window. It's not the worst smoke in the world, but I think he probably should have realised that they were pushing short from the util they were throwing. I mean, either way,
it's a tough one.
It's a tough one, yeah. It's a tough 1v2. And Black Can, they do play it well. And with that, they have the advantage going into the second half against all odds, against a 6-0 lead at the start from EMPS Kids. Yeah, this is a solid effort from Black Can to get comfortably back into this series.
Yeah, that is definitely... Black Hand, I wish we could hear them right now, because I bet you they are getting loud. They found themselves with a 1-round lead after being down in that way. That essentially means that they went 8-1 from that point onwards. That is crazy to think about. They woke up in a big way with a couple of big B defenses. They played well. They maneuvered around mid in the early stages of the round quite effectively as well. Now, it's their time to show us what they're made of on the T side, and it's looking like a fast B play. Moshi immediately called upon, and he's good for a kill. Cypher and Cripes are chiming in as well, and Jack B doesn't want to leave his name out of the feed. All onto Fraser now, in a 1 versus 2 now. He's able to get the immediate trade onto Moshi, but Jack B with another kill to his name. EMPS Kids, they take their CT pistol, and once again, we're all tied up.
Yeah, and that's a big pistol round to be finding, especially when the scoreline is this close, because it gives them a chance to find some breathing room early doors. I mean, we saw what happened earlier today, an 11-4 half got so incredibly close after a comeback attempt. And, well, both of these sides are wanting to avoid that sort of possibility, and this pistol round pickup has been very, very valuable for the CTs. especially as they find the opener onto Dexter and they just have Glocks and a P250 left to deal with. They do overwhelm the MP9 player towards Truck, but they're not going to find the kill, as Moshi, he's just fragging out with the USP, gets one through the wall as well. I mean, that's just, why not? Add a bit of insult to injury, salt in the wounds, as it's now a 9-8 scoreline. But this does mean it's a bonus buy round for the EMPS kids here.
Yeah, look at those. Crifes and Moshi on the MP9s, and I imagine they're going to be looking to get a little bit of aggression, maybe toward Palace, maybe towards the B apartments or underpass, force the issue and take some fights, earn themselves some cash here early on, because it's not the end of the world if they were to lose a round like this. They'll be able to get up a full gun round going forward regardless. So, no aggression so far from the CTs. It looks like they're playing quite heavily towards the B side of the map right now, with 2 players dedicated towards those B apartments. Mid control has been entirely conceded here by the CT side. And now, with a few seconds already passed, Cypher looks to be hunting for information towards ramp. A double setup here. The first man takes contact and Cypher doesn't get cleared, but the first man doesn't need to take contact as he trades 2. Jack B trades 2 in middle as well, and a complete shutout from EMPS kids.
Wow, that was an incredibly impressive round. I was going to say it's very unusual that you don't have the MP9 players up close for that bait and switch towards ramp. But yeah, the A1Ss do a fantastic job. After Cypher goes down, Joshua gets the 2k after the damage is dealt by the opening man. And then Jack B doesn't need to find 2, but he does it regardless. Great stuff with the AUG. And something else I was going to say, it's not often you see an AUG in play these days.
That's true.
But regardless, he does a cracking job, gets both of the players pushing down connector, and with just a couple of pistols here, Cypher is having a field day, farming those eco frags, and Joshua chimes in as well, and somehow Fraser's in jungle, but Moshi does not let him get much further, as that will be a nice MP9 cash cow frag coming through. 11-8 now, 3 in a row for the EMPS kids side, and it will be another gun round. We're still Kreitz and Moshi on those MP9s, but they've got full util. And Kreitz has forgotten to buy the fuse kit despite being on 8.3k. But either way, let's see what these MP9s can do up against another AK-47 investment.
It's actually absurd that they've already got this much money in the back pocket and they are still essentially running a bonus round at this stage in the half. So it's interesting because obviously this is lesser weaponry, quite deep into, well, fairly deep into the second half. So I expect Blackhand to be able to use the superior weaponry to get their way around this one. With that said though, Jack B of course on the AWP now, drops over that AUG to Cypher. And he's headed into the B apartments with a... I love this peek here early on. The timing eludes him. Dexter dinks him through the wall. But we've already got 2 more players in the B bomb site. I don't think the T side are going to be expecting this. Dexter commits himself to the fight. Josh was good from the bench for the time being, but Timo with a double entry of his own. And now Cypher...
That's so unlucky. Did you see that? The grenade hit him, giving a sound cue as he jumped through the smoke. Oh no, Moshi now in the 1v3. Yeah, he's just got to save this AK, surely. That's exactly what he's going to do. Oh, Cypher, that's so unlucky.
It was bold. I think he right-clicked to flash through the smoke as he hopped out the window, and one also hit him in the face. So it would have worked out. I think he would have been able to at least get that 1-for-1 kill.
Close right kill, yeah.
But, yeah, Moshi able to get away with the AK at the bare minimum. Of course, money's not an issue for the time being, but Blackhand put their first T round on the board now, and hopefully they can build upon this one going forward.
Yeah, for Moshi, there's no point giving up an AK for no good reason. It's still arguably the strongest rifle, despite the M4A1S debate still going on a little bit. I still think it's the superior CT rifle. The damage is there. It's so easy to spray with. I managed to get 3 kills versus the 2 on other rifles I used on you in our 1v1 earlier. But yeah, Blackhand... If they can capitalize off of that round win, use a bit of momentum, build up an economy of their own, then this will still be a very competitive half.
Yeah, Dexter with the AWP in hand, but this time it's Jack B with his big green, shutting down Zulu. The fast mid play not working out in favour of Blackhand for the time being, but at least Timo's able to trade. Crife's down towards short, and that opens an avenue into this B bomb site. Timo continuing to force the issue. A great CT flash is going to keep him contained for the time being, but Joustairs there for the trade. The rotations are here, but Cypher, he's a little bit isolated on the bomb site for the time being. You can see Jack B on the AWP. He's worked his way through underpass behind them. The 1v1 gunfight has gone down in favour of the CT side, and it's up to Fraser now in a 1 versus 2. He's aware of where both players are, and now he knows they're both AWPs.
Yeah, everyone is AWPing right now in this 2v1. It's ridiculous. Fraser could isolate these duels. There is the potential for him to still win this. He's got the time to play with. He's also got the bomb. It's all down to who peeks first, all down to the left angle peeks. He's going to edge his way further around the back of this site, hunting for either of these CT AWPers. But look at them. They're all congregating towards the market side of the bomb site, and I don't think he's any the wiser because, well, they know there was an AWPer in the back of apartments just 20 seconds earlier. How was he supposed to know? He's already made his way around to market. He's not, and Jack B. That is fantastic maneuvering from him.
Yep.
As Fraser's caught completely off guard. They save both AWPs coming into this round, and it's a 12-9 scoreline for
I
EMPS kids.
absolutely love that patience there from Jack B. He said, I have an advantage position here. They know where I last was. Let me just completely change where I'm at. They're not going to read this whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he positions himself to be able to trade off his teammate had he gone down. So credit to Jack B there. Really the hero of that round with the kill through from underpass.
Yep.
Then wraps himself back around to help Joshua. Great stuff there. And now we find ourselves in another pause. I'm going to assume that this is a Blackhand pause. They want to maybe go back to the drawing board, think about this one in a little bit more depth. Gun round's going to come out for them either way. But now we're getting towards the end of this first map here. And Blackhand, they really want to steal this one away from EMPS kids.
Something I do want to say, though, is aside from maybe... Well, yeah, the fragging has been pretty evenly spread across the board on both teams. I wouldn't say there's any individual who's really lacking behind in that department. I mean, Kreis, well, he's about to pick up double digits. There we go. And Gorgeous blinded through the smoke kill onto Jalstair as things start to pick themselves up a bit. My goodness, that is fast reaction times from the AWPer. But Jack B finds two of his own. Looking back towards the site, he knows that one more's dropped down. It's a free kill for him onto Dexter. Oh, Jack B, you disgusting man. Those kills come flying through. He's on 21 frags now as he wipes the floor clean of these B aggressors.
That is absolutely beautiful stuff there, and that may be the door slamming in the face of Blackhand here on map 1 Mirage. They have to concede, go back down to the half buy. Not an unwinnable situation for them, of course, but if they were to lose this one, when the guns come back out, they're essentially 2 lost rounds away from losing this first map.
Oh man, look who it is again, lighting up the kill feed. In fact, it's both of the AWPers. There's so much AWP action here on Mirage. And, well, Cypher loves an eco frag. Don't let me have to tell you again. But Jack B, again, with a P250, decides, you know what, I don't even need this hand cannon. I'm just going to shoot him with a sidearm and hope for the best.
Honestly, highlights all round right now. Joshua's done a great job there from the triple box. It can be a difficult spot to be in when you're getting pressured by a utility like that, especially when you're on an AWP, but he handles it perfectly. A good 3k for him. And now, as the guns come back out, I wonder what will be the approach towards middle. The answer is fast aggression. Joshua good for a trade, but Fraser good for 2 of his own. And already a one-man advantage here for the T side. Fraser on an island. His team rotating around him off the back of this contest towards middle. And Zulu, the lurking player towards A's, picked up Jack B. That's an open A bomb site.
These guys have the aim, and now they're finally displaying it. I feel like we just needed to see a couple more fast plays from Blackhand. In middle, they swing on out, they get the double entry, they remove the AWPers after only a single frag this time, rather than letting them multi-kill after multi-kill. And with that, yeah, they put themselves in a much better standing. They've got the post-plant, they've got the utility to keep things out of a retake scenario. Not that Kreitz and Moshi would want to go for a retake. It's not that they don't have the money, but again, it's a very disadvantageous scenario. And as much as they could try and get some exits here, which I do think would be a good idea with their current economy versus that of Blackhand, they just don't need to at the moment, and they're going to sit there patiently, keep their util, keep their armor, keep their weaponry, and disallow things from spiraling out of control. It is double digits now for Blackhand, so EMPS kids can't rest on their laurels, but they do still have 4 buffer rounds before another equalised scoreline, and that's something they desperately want to hold on to.
Yeah, absolutely. Although Blackhand take this round, this is very much still an EMPS Kids game to lose in this situation. The economy is still not quite under control for the Blackhand side, and if they were to lose a round and go to 15 for EMPS Kids, the money would be back in the bin, and this game would be all said and done. So they're under the gun in this situation, and they need to keep up the pace here. I honestly can't see them winning this game or taking it to overtime unless they can get this 16-14 in favour of Blackhand.
Yeah, no, I understand that as well. And they need to capitalise on all the momentum they build up to get to that point in order to drag this over the line. Am I correct in saying this is Blackhand's map pick?
No, this is EMPS.
This is EMPS. Okay, so it's reasonable that they are winning out in this one. It is a best of 3 series after all, ladies and gents, with the map of Inferno coming up next, which is definitely a lot less of a puggy map when it comes down to a well-drilled team like I imagine Blackhand will be. I think this is going to be a 3-map series. I'm not entirely sure where Vertigo's going to go, but the fun, puggy style of EMPS Kids right now is definitely beneficial to them. They have been taking a couple of those solo plays, especially when it comes down to the AWPers going for aggressive picks, and it has been working out for them, so I'm not going to even attempt to judge them for that.
Yeah, EMPS Kids have been very creative on both halves so far, and I'm loving the way that they continue to switch up their style. There is no lack of experience on this team, and I assume they've got a ITB man in Cypher making a lot of calls here. I'm sure he's a dominant voice in the server, making sure that the decision-making from his side in terms of positioning and setups has always been spot on, I have to say.
Yeah, I was top 50. You listen to me.
Too right.
But with Jack B now pushing and prodding back towards this A site, it's Timo to start things off. Cypher to trade, and the kill feed is lit up from all angles. Is a 3v2 now, though, for this T side. And again, EMPS Kids, they still can't afford to rest on their laurels. Again, economy isn't really a problem, except for Cypher. They could still attempt to go for this round, but they don't know where any of the opposition is positioned. Down to a 2v2 now. And look at this, they're going to hear them. They've got a great crossfire and a Molotov for the bomb.
Smoke on the bomb, though. And now Fraser in a 1 versus 2, able to take down the first man, has no information whether or not Moshi's sticking this right now, but Fraser with the clean headshot, a huge 1v2 with his back against the wall, and he keeps the game alive for Blackhand here on map 1.
And one away to end the 11th round for the side of Blackhand. Gorgeous stuff. Plays that perfectly with his positioning in towards CT, and that second headshot was so crisp. I love the way that he anticipates that he won't swing him on the sight side as well. Oh, it's just great game sense from everyone on this server. But EMPS Kids, they're starting to lack in a couple of departments here. They've got very little money left should this round go astray, but Jack B does find another entry, so they're in good stead to keep this one competitive, keep this one with a potential of 15, as the double up setup blesses them once again with a double opener. Cypher finds one more, but Jouster, it's a 2-man trade straight on back, and again there is competitive spirit in round number 26.
Jouster keeping this round alive in a big way right now. That nade into CT is saving grace. Fraser's able to take down Jack before he goes down. And now Jouster is called upon here in the 1 versus 2. Already 2 frags to his name in the round. And to be honest, this round wouldn't have even got this far had it not been for those 2 kills. Makes a lovely little rotation through Palace here. But of course, EMPS Kids, they're making some sneaky rotations of their own as well.
Timing.
He's made a step though. Moshi under the Palace is going to be well aware of Jouster's positioning, but in fact he's facing the wrong way. He's moved out the way. No way, he's caught back turned, and Moshi shuts him down. That's 15 and 1 away from a match victory for EMPS Kids.
I'm honestly surprised that he just falls off of Palace there rather than, creeping down the ladder, because he should have known that there was one person around the site from where his teammates had fallen. But regardless of that, 15-11 now to EMPS Kids. This is the last chance for Blackhand to net themselves a comeback. And as you said, you didn't think that they'd be able to win this map unless they could make it a 16-14 scenario. They've not piggybacked off their own momentum. It's not to say they've been playing badly, but they have just been outclassed a little bit, especially by that double-up setup.
Absolutely, and we see 2 Galils in play this round. A distinct lack of utility on Fraser as well. So realistically, this one's going to have to come down to some crisp 1v, well, not 1v2s, but crisp aim fights, multi-kills is what we require from the Blackhand T side here in our 27th round. Mid control is well in the hands of the T side, and now there's going to be some mid-round maneuvers here from both teams, hopefully, as the information game starts to become a little bit interesting.
Now, I said earlier that there wasn't that much of a kill difference between the two teams, but that has changed rather drastically. EMPS kids, as individuals, are stepping up a lot more than Blackhand, which has allowed this to spiral a little bit. And Kreitz, oh my goodness, talking of spiraling, catches two, Moshi and Joshua another. It's down to the 2v1 here. Jouster again, called upon in a clutch scenario. Molotov out of position, but does get the bomb down in the nick of time. Flashbang rains over the top, and he will readjust his positioning towards bench. EMPS kids, they're waiting for the perfect opportunity to push back onto this site, and they will be jumping through the window one by one.
Oh, an awkward smoke on the back of the site has allowed Jouster to sneak his way into bench. Surely this is going to get cleared, and in fact the double peek is so perfect from Cypher and Joshua. The numbers will get punched in, and it will be a 16-11 victory on our first map of Mirage. EMPS kids go up 1-0 in the series, and they take their map pick in the end in a confident fashion. Yeah,
as we said, I think unless they'd really started to spiral off of the early T-side momentum, Blackhand would struggle to get back into that one. And that was true. EMPS kids were outclassing them, especially with that double up setup that I'm going to keep calling back to. Because Jack B and Joshua were going absolutely nuts on the defense there with the big greens. But it wasn't just that, though. There were great moments from all the individuals on that squad. The rifles having great notions. And also, just calling back to the bonus buy round, where they had the two A1Ss going for the bait and switch play on Rab. That's just one of the plays that I really enjoyed looking at. And yeah, amongst that, just crazy plays through and through. Jouster thrust into a lot of very difficult clutch scenarios, and unfortunately he was only able to bring out one, maybe two of those situations, despite when on the CT side he was the impeccable B anchor. But yeah, overall, is there anything else you'd like to add in terms of insight for that map?
I tell you what, I'm very happy with Jack B's performance in the game. There is no doubt that he's able to frag, but I thought one of the things that was always called into question about Jack was his ability to make the discipline decisions under the gun, and we saw in that map just there, he got himself into a great position to make the hero play, but he didn't overcommit to it. He came through underpass, he got the frag, he completely repositioned himself based around his teammates' position and the information that he was getting, and as a result they were able to close out the map in the end. You know, that was quite a swing round as well. Had that gone the other way, Blackhand maybe could have run away with that one. So,
but well, what could have been is always a dangerous game in Counter-Strike, as we will be going 1-0 up on the side of EMPS kids into the second map now of Inferno. And as I said, a little bit more of a team-based map, but before I get too much into the depths of Inferno, we're going to go to a short break. So ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere, and we'll be right back after the break.
My name is Jake Merton, otherwise known by my online nickname as Jakey Boy Pro. I am 26 years old, and I currently work as full-time online events manager / producer for G2 Esports.
Hi, my name's Kat. I'm Vice President of Warwick Esports, and I'm a second-year student at the University of Warwick.
I'm Edwards. I'm the treasurer for the Southampton Video Games and Esports Society, and I also do a little bit of casting of Counter-Strike and Valorant in my spare time.
I would certainly say getting involved with EPIC has driven my passion further. I've had many talks with all of the different staff at EPIC that have been really helpful in, guiding me on where I want to go. They've recognized the passion and they've really wanted to help me drive and improve, and it really has pushed me to the point as to where now I can do it full time, and I couldn't think of doing anything different at this moment in time.
One of the greatest things for me about Warwick Esports is the ability to talk to so many students from other disciplines. It's very hard at university, unless you're in a society, to meet people from other departments. And I think that's the thing I love most about Warwick Esports, is that I'm able to meet those people. I'm now looking at doing a business master's purely because of my friends who were in the business school that taught me, things like writing pitch decks, how to, business management, all those things.
So I'd always been interested in esports. So the moment I came to Southampton, I instantly joined the SVG server, asked how do I get verified, where do I find a Counter-Strike team? Like, I want to do this is the most amazing thing to me. And I got signed up instantly. They put me in a team with a bunch of other freshers, and I'm in that team to this day. My teammates are probably some of my closest friends. You're not always going to land in a team with people that then become your close friends. I think I really lucked out and we've really gelled well. Post-lockdown, we've been able to socialize. We actually went to EPIC a couple of months ago as 5, which was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Never been to a LAN before, never done it before, but to do it with some of my closest friends and best teammates that I could ask for has been an absolute dream.
Working in this community really has benefited me in ways that I would never have imagined. There was once a time where I wouldn't like to, go out of my way and talk to people, but I am a lot more confident when I'm outside in person, and just being sociable. It's much easier to be able to, sit back and have a conversation with someone more than it was 2 years ago when I wasn't working this line of work.
At Warwick Esports, we're very keen on, breaking down that barrier between only being online, like that stigma of, gamers in their basement, that kind of thing. We're very keen on breaking down that barrier, and we do pub nights very frequently. We go out and we do Sports Sunday, where everyone just goes and plays football. I cheer from the side, but everyone goes and plays football. And I think those kind of things make people feel like they're part of something rather than just another username in a Discord, which I think is why we do so well. People feel part of something, so they stay.
Hello, Overclockers, and welcome. Oh, screw this. Where's EPIC when you need him?
My name is Jake Merton.
Hi, my name's Kat.
I'm Edwards. I'm the treasurer for the Southampton Video Games and Esports Society.
My name is Cameron Doig. I'm a former EPIC team leader for their esports media. Used to freelance for ESO UK and run the Dota tournaments for NSC. And now I'm a software developer and in-game manager for Blast. Going into my first EPIC thinking, I have to run a Dota tournament after having only worked one event previously. It is a stressful thought. It's a stressful time dealing with trying to do that. But the management help you through it. They teach you the basics of how to deal with everything, how to run a tournament, how everything should be smoothly handled. And then you kind of have the step up with ESO UK, where they then massively teach you how to run live events, all of the logistics that go with that, how to kind of liaise with a full-on production, you know, how to do tournament ops, player management, all of that.
I didn't know half the skills that I know now before I came to Warwick Esports, because it forces you to do so many things that you hadn't done before. So I'm technically head of partnerships, but I'd never done anything about that before. I had to learn all that from scratch. I'm vice president, so I do a lot of project management, and I've had to take courses specifically on that so I can learn those kind of things. You learn other things you don't even consider skills. Things like just conversing with people and talking. I didn't know networking was a skill at all. I was like, is this not just something everyone has to do? Like, it's just talking is fine, right? But actually, it's such a skill that you have to learn. Esports is such a versatile industry. You end up doing so many more things. And I think that has made me a much more well-rounded individual.
Working with all these different groups definitely makes you better socially. You meet a whole bunch of new people every event you do. So slowly you get better at, you know, interacting with these people.
The most unexpected skill was definitely casting for me. I had never thought about casting. Counter-Strike or Valorant wasn't even around when I first joined university. I just hadn't really thought about it. It was just something that when you watched a Twitch stream of a Counter-Strike Major or a League of Legends Worlds, there was just casters there. Although it was really hype, I'd never thought about pursuing it myself. And then with the opportunities that came along with UKV and through NSE, suddenly I'm, you know, doing the Counter-Strike and the Valorant finals for the University Tournament Championship, which was absolutely amazing. And then also getting on to go and do EPIC LAN. I did the group stage for EPIC36, I think, which was something I'd never ever thought I'd get to do. I'm not the best player, but at least I was able to contribute to the esports scene, the university scene, and be involved in these amazing tournaments.
One of the best things about the community is how helpful everyone genuinely is. Like, everyone genuinely wants you to succeed. I never had to go about anything on my own. There is such a wide range of skills between so many people that you're never really alone. And that's something I was really grateful for, was that whatever I had to do, there was always someone who knew how to do it and could teach me to do it.
I always enjoy teaching people and helping them grow, because it's something that I've always had myself. I've always had a community that's willing to chime in on a subject that I'm not too sure on. I always feel that helping other people grow is such a rewarding and nice feeling that I'm never going to turn anyone down unless, you know, the circumstances mean that I can't.
How could love wear so thin? I'm sinking in the hollow ground. Nothing can stop me wanting you somehow. I won't let it die. I can feel you when you're not around. When the night gets cold, I won't
And we are back, straight back into the action here. We've got this pistol round kicking off already here, and Fraser's already found himself in a 1 versus 4, able to get one but immediately dropped. And sorry for the rude start back to the stream, guys. We've had some technical difficulties here. Some players are coming back, charging their mice, and then immediately going. But we're good to go. We're here on map 2. It is, although it says a 1-1 at the top of your screen there, it's currently map count of 1-0 in favour of EMPS Kids. They took Mirage 16-11, and now we find ourselves on map 2, Inferno, the map pick of Blackhand, and they start with this 1-0 lead, Sneaky.
Well, the HUD is the wrong way round, I think. Yeah?
Yeah.
So is it 1-0 EMPS Kids or 1-0 Blackhand? I'm not...
It's 1-0 EMPS Kids.
It is 1-0 EMPS Kids, but... Blackhand now taking the bomb site with vigor here with the pistols and the pistols and the Mech 10. It's okay, we're getting into it. It was a rocky start, but with that bomb now down, the second round, I'm very confused. There's A1S's on the T side. I'm assuming those have been picked up here. It's okay. We'll flip it round in a second. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to get my bearings, and it is going to be 1-1 here if that bomb goes off, if I am not mistaken.
Let's hope that that's the case.
Okay, good. Solid.
I'm done stuffing my face with pizza in the break, thank God.
I had some Toblerone.
Toblerone is being consumed, and Crife's able to farm a little bit of cash, but not before getting dropped. Moshi saving the only gun left over of his side, and we are tied up 1-1. Hello! Hi guys, we're back.
We are back, and in dazzling fashion as always. I do believe that we are just flipping the HUD round very quickly, so do not worry yourselves. You know, I haven't even had time to do my hair. It's a true tragedy, honestly. I'm a fake Jesus impersonator now. It's tragic. But there we go. HUD has been fixed. EMPS Kids, as we said... Oh, hello. It's us again.
Oh, we're back again.
Third time lucky. There we go. Two CTs just sitting in boiler patiently waiting for this swing. Ooh, Moshi! What a headshot onto Fraser. Oh, hill it, bang, and Timo is gone. 5 versus 3 now for the CT side. The battle of the force buys wages on.
Oh my lord, this game could not get any more chaotic if it tried right now. Joust, they're able to get one back onto Joshua though. So although this game started with a pistol round win for the EMPS Kids, Blackhand then win a full force buy. And now EMPS Kids, they fully force back into this one with a man advantage as it currently stands. Utility in towards this B bomb site, and Jack B, there's a gap in that smoke, and he's able to get Zulu through it, traded back by Dexter. But Dexter and Joust there, look at them, barely 50 HP between the two of them as they attempt to get a bomb site here.
Oh my.
Moshi in a 1 versus 1. Dexter has to reload the M4. He's got himself into a safe position, and he's able to win it out with the rifle in hand. The HP not a factor if Moshi doesn't hit a shot. And Blackhand, they stabilise after what has been an absolute mad start.
Did Moshi pull out utility there on that second swing? I think he pulled out a Molotov. I could be going insane, but that round in itself was utter chaos. But it is 2-1 now to Blackhand, and they are going to be pleased with this forthcoming. But EMPS Kids, they're not done force buying. They've got a Hero M4A4 this time, with 4 Deagles and some utility. And, well, they've also got banana control, as none of the Ts have yet really pushed out a ramp. That smoke, that's going to allow them to cross on over. So inadvertently, EMPS Kids have not done themselves any favours, but that's good spam damage. Timo takes a bit of chip. Now, Icon, do you know what my biggest flex is? Referring back to my previous references, the Sillet Bangman, Barry Scott, follows me on Twitter.
That is an impressive thing to say. I
Thank
can't
you.
lie to you. I'm jealous, to say the least.
He is a lovely man. I know him personally.
Do you?
Yeah, his name is... Shall I ruin the immersion?
Go on.
His name is Neil Burgess.
Oh, he's lied to us. joust there, though. Flying out from the apartments. Has been dealt with. Jack B with 2 massive Deagle headshots and a 2 versus 3 situation. The bomb site not quite in control of the Black Hand side as Joshua's found himself a cheeky little position in the apartments. But I like the positions being taken here. A back of the bomb site plant. And a pit position as well. The Molotov forces Fraser out of cover. And now Zulu's got it all to do in a 1 versus 3. Gets the first 2 frags, but Cypher able to get the trade. And we are all tied up 2-2 after 4 rounds played.
What an exciting start to Inferno. I love a good battle of the 4 spies, especially in this current economy. There's chance after chance to keep on investing, and I believe that was, what, a Hero M4, 4 Desert Eagles, and Jack B. I mean, we've talked about human turrets a couple of times this series already, but finding the first from Boiler, okay, that was a couple of body shots, but then that 90-degree left-hand flick onto the head of the players coming into brackets, that was gorgeous. I let out a couple of ad-libs again as he tries to catch those frags. And, well, Blackhand, they've gone for a 4-spy again. Everybody's 4-spying. It's 4-spy central. Then whoever wins this round really will start to cement a bit of a lead. Look at the economy. It is in the doldrums for both of these squads, as is Timo's health. He is down to 8 points of health with full armor. And that is going to be a little bit of a problem. Might want to consider chucking that rifle over to Zulu and instead taking on more of an entry role despite, despite the slower pace that Blackhand have adopted.
Yeah, so we can see this round's played out quite similar to how we saw the previous game of Inferno go earlier on in the stream. The early stages of the round tend to lean the T side towards this banana area. They get the top car control that they require. They then go on to middle. They sell a little bit of a fake perhaps, or they maintain the control. In this round it's going to be a fake as we have 5 players lining up utility here at the top of banana. Crifes and the man on top of the boxes in Moshi here to defend. Moshi strikes first with 2 quick kills and Crife's good for one of his own. They've got the trades that they needed. They've got the one-man advantage. And now EMPS kids are set up for an advantage situation in this retake.
The one thing that's problematic is they only have 1 smoke and 1 flash. They need to make them count, but Jack B finding that frag, well, already they're in a great position. Fraser was low. Regardless, Jack B, another great frag on the follow-up from the Coffin's position, means that EMPS kids will be winning the Battle of the 4 Spies. Now, it would be ridiculous if Blackhand were to pull out another 4-spy scenario here. The money is okay, but just give it some time to heal. Let it recover. Buy some AKs with some util going into the next round. Buy down to 2k. That's alright. You know, get a couple of upgraded pistols in here, go for something fast, use some util like they're doing, and, well, then you might catch EMPS kids off guard. With the way this game has been going so far, I wouldn't be surprised if they find 5 clean headshots with the Tech 9s, but, oh my god, Jack B, a god grenade as Crifes patches things up, and, well, Fraser, he's not in the best of spots right now. Neither is any of the Blackhand team, as they are demolished on their banana push.
I tell you what, we are having a quick conversation with Ranar, one of our other casters, before the game, and he said this game is going to be an absolute bloodbath. And we're 6 rounds in right now, and that is delivered on all fronts so far. Finally, EMPS kids, they stabilise. They get some control over the situation for the time being. Blackhand made the right call in the previous round to go down onto that low buy, and now we see the guns come out. The pace is continued. Jack B has let 2 players slip, and Zulu's managed to catch him as well. Crifes, a massive double kill, at least does keep things even, but the B bomb site well in the hands of the T side. Joshua's cut off the last man in rotation as well though, so now Fraser's got bodies ahead of him. Good for 1 kill, Joshua good for a couple, and oh my lord, every single round is so fast paced in this game.
Silly manoeuvres from Dexter there though, not checking his corners, not clearing any of middle, despite having no information on where those CTs could be residing. And yeah, he brought a knife to a gunfight, as CS so often tells us. And with that, absolutely screwed, along with the rest of the round for poor old Blackhand. Bear in mind, this is their map pick. EMPS kids are definitely going to be happy with this 5-2 lead early doors, and Jack B with a Molotov kill. Okay, that's new. We'll sit patiently towards the short side of A as Joshua does so much damage to Jouster through the smoke. Cypher clips one on the edge of his own, but Jouster somehow stays alive with 7 HP, and the bomb does actually get planted here.
This is going to be an interesting retake here because they have to maneuver around the fact that Dexter's got himself positioned in pit with this AWP in hand. Cypher will put the first nail in the coffin in Fraser, and the AWP now spotted. Plenty of utility to flash these players off as well, and a great retake from EMPS kids. They have done such an incredible job, but because the round was so fast, the bomb went down so quickly, the amount of utility that they had in hand to work with there was just always going to be able to lock out Blackhand there if they used it correctly.
Yeah, and the fact that it was pistols anyway, the AWP was just a bit of a bonus. Dexter can't land the shot, and that does come back to bite them. Not that it really would have been a deciding factor because they'd already just swarmed up short. I love the way they grouped up there. They had great spacing, and with that, the trades, yeah, they come out quite nicely. And another thing that we were talking about with Freddy earlier is the fact that Timmer has a lot to prove as a fragger as much as a support player. But right now, he's going 007. He's James Bonding on the big stage. And, well, that's just not what they need right now. This is a brutal lower bracket run, should they be sent down to those doldrums. But Cypher, it's a great crossfire with Joshua, but they're only going to find 2 frags apiece, meaning the full rotation has to come on in, and it's another retake attempt for EMPS kids. Jack B, that is incredible! Very lucky, but great game sense to fire off a shot like that. Here's the footsteps as well. And the combination will allow even numbers as it's now back to the 2v2 scenario. And my goodness, everyone's jumping through fire and flame. Grevs catches one more, shut down by Dexter, and this time he does not miss on the AWP.
Wow, the level coming out from these two teams here in Inferno is absurd right now. I love the move that Blackhand made in that round with the fast burst up short. They were able to find the right bomb site with only 2 players defending it on A, 3 towards that B side of the map in the early stages of the round, and Dexter has done an amazing job on that AWP, picking up the pieces and winning out that 1 versus 1, so crucial.
But Blackhand now, they've picked up the pace again, but instead of short sign, it was towards top banana. But with that pace, they decide to slow things down. They leave 1 person to keep control, but even they in Timo are slowly shifting backwards. Flash for Fraser to peek into middle as support players come and join him, and it looks as if they want to just go back for brackets control. Cypher looks away from the flash, but he's got a nice 2-man setup towards short here. And Blackhand, well, I don't think they're going to be expecting a 2-stack from this position. It's a very unruly off angle. Flower pots and hay bales. I don't think I've seen that before, but unfortunately for EMPS kids, they've just gamble stacked towards A. They're not going to be able to use that off angle as Moshi. Oh my goodness me, he's been left unchecked. Oh my god, look at them all. He sees them lining up for utility. How has nobody checked this angle? Moshi with a huge double may have just secured this round. They're not going to be able to clear Cripes either because they're fully blinded. Just there with a trade, and Dexter, that's an incredible frag to be picking on up. And now into the 2v2 we go. What the hell is happening here on Inferno?
Oh my lord, Moshi could have had a quad kill from that position. He's done well to get 2, don't get me wrong, but now 2 versus 2. Dexter and Jouster, they have to hold off this retake attempt. There's no kits here in the hands of the EMPS kit side, but one dropped at the first oranges. Cypher with a quick kill onto the AWP of Dexter, and Jouster able to win out the 1 versus 1 against Joshua. Now, the kit has been recovered. Cypher's going straight for the stick. Jouster's read into it though, and in fact he gets off the bomb just in time, able to get the kill and the defuse, no problem at all, and a massive 1 versus 1 win there for Cypher.
What an incredible round for EMPS kids to recover, and what an incredible oversight for Blackhand. They are lining up their smokes in front of Moshi, who is literally not even checking for a push-up banana, and the accidental trigger discipline allows him to win the round, and I don't even know what we just witnessed. He finds 2 quick headshots. Finally they put the bloody smokes away and shoot him in the face, but yeah, that should never ever have spiraled that out of control. It should have been a 5 versus 1 on that B bomb site. A very quick, clean capitalization, but no, everything flipped on its head. And, well, they are going to be laughing all the way to another round as it gets close, but they're the ones ultimately who come out with the cigar.
Oh my lord, I feel like I just need to take a breath. Like, this is so high octane right now, you know? I can't keep track of everything that's happening. What I can tell you about this round number 11 we're at now, which is flown by, is that we've got Blackhand on a bit of a low buy situation. Of course, they've got 5 rifles out, but 3 of those rifles being Galil's. They've opted for utility over firepower. And over on the other side of EMPS Kids, their economy is not in a great position either. We've got 2 MP9s in play. We've got a Mag 7 in a close corner as well. So this round's essentially a force buy for both sides. A good trade on long is going to give Joustair the control that he needs, and a B-split situation is being set up here by the Blackhand side. Moshi, he can't take a long-range engagement, and he knows it. He backs away at the perfect time. He needs to win the first gunfight, and he's going to be able to do that. Joustair trades once again, but they'll be expecting Crifes to be in a forward position. He hits the quick headshot, but doesn't get the kill. And now the B-bomb site is well in the hands of Blackhand. They've got a man advantage to work with as well. And it looks like EMPS Kids going for the immediate save here.
I was going to say that's definitely the right choice with their economy in the position it's in. They've got full Kevlar on both of these players. They've got defuse kits. The A1S is the most valuable piece of weaponry they got here. And also with the new bomb radius, if Dexter stays on Banana for too long, he will be forced straight into their... Well, actually, I say straight into their position. My goodness, they've gone for a split save. They're miles apart from each other. They won't be able to pick up any guns from where they are right now. Where was the first kill? Was that all on Banana? There was one towards CT
First
spawn.
kill was on Jack B at long, wasn't it? Jack B opened up the round, immediately
true.
traded by Joustair, and then the B split came in.
So I think that Galil might be a consequence of that opening frag from long. So yeah, they won't be able to get that AK dropped over towards CT, as that's exactly where Blackhand will be saving. And they also saved their skin in picking up that 4th round on the T side. This is, of course, their map pick. And with that being said, I reckon 6 is probably the minimum to be comfortable on your own map pick on a choice such as Inferno. 6 is comfortable, and 7 obviously preferable, but I don't think another 8-7.5 is on the cards here. As, again, a disadvantageous scenario, but far closer rounds to start this game off.
Well, EMPS Kids in this round, off the back of those 2 saves, they've decided to force up fully into this round. So the weaponry favouring Blackhand here from the get-go. We can see we've got a Galil, a FAMAS, 2 MP9s in play, just the 1 M4 on the back of Cypher, and he's obviously a big hitter that you want to be able to hand that rifle over to. But there's some big hitters, Timo and Zulu. Timo, his 2nd kill of the game, and that's a hugely impactful one as they open this round up with a 2-man advantage. They don't have control of the banana area of the map. You can see the majority of the T side here waiting in the apartments for some re-aggression from the CT side. But it looks like EMPS Kids, they're just sitting tight. They're not going to bait themselves out into this one. They're just going to hold on and pray for some Blackhand mistakes. And there's one. A short smoke can be seen right over the top of by Cypher here. And with backs turned, he's able to get one. But the jump onto the flower pot's not quite managing to keep him alive. Crifes is hearing all of these steps though, Sneaky.
Well, he may be hearing all of these steps, but I don't think there's much Joshua can do from this position. He's been completely cornered and he fires too early. He's going to get swung on by the full fury of Blackhand, and, well, Christ can't really do anything else but save this MP9 here, and it's definitely not the best weapon to be saving out of all of the dropped options. And with that, that is 5 on the board, and perhaps I've read into this wrong. Perhaps there is still an opportunity for an 8-7.5.
It does seem like this is a huge swing round, doesn't it? Blackhand have now taken control of their economy. Over on the other side of EMPS Kids, they're going to have to half buy in this next round, if not full eco. I'm not quite sure what the loss bonus is right now, but it's definitely not enough for them to get some decent utility out if they were to go for the rifles. So there is definitely an opportunity now for Blackhand to win this half.
I think it would probably have to be the force, but oh no, they've got $2,000. This should just be an eco round then.
Don't buy a thing.
Yeah, just don't buy anything. You've got the MP9 to play with. Maybe drop a pistol over. Yeah, Jack B's got a 5.7 that I think Crifes dropped him because of his MP9. And with that, they try and deal as much damage, farm as much money on that MP9 as they possibly can, and potentially stop Blackhand's economy from spiraling into the green. Dex has already got enough for a rebuy. Timo does as well. The bottom 3 players, as you can see on the right-hand side of your screens, are struggling a little bit more for money, and especially with their 0 loss bonus right now. Oh, any damage is perfect. Great double dink from Jack B. Brings us back into a 4v4. Again, this shouldn't be a competitive round, but as much damage as they can deal will be just impeccable going into the latter stages of the first half.
A great reaction here from Blackhand, though. Jack B's taken that control towards second mid. Blackhand react off the back of it. They've gone for a full execute into this B bomb site.
They missed the molly.
And of course, the CT side don't have the utility to fend this one off from this position. Timo gets the entry onto the lone man in the site. Jack B on his quick flank has been dealt with as well. And the boost has been missed and heard. Just Moshi now in a 1 versus 4. And nothing to be said for EMPS Kids in this round, except the 1 kill off the back of Jack B's trigger discipline. He's done well to get that kill. He's got 3 players in front of him when he's pushed through the apartment. And a lot of players in that situation will panic and shoot too early. They'll end up getting no kills whatsoever. So I have to credit Jack for the way he played that, but unfortunately not enough in that round.
Also, I was lying. They didn't miss the molly. It just took a while to spread.
Yeah,
which is very unfortunate for the lone MP9 player in the back of the site. But with that, I'm not sure if it's technical or technical. I believe this should be a tactical pause. But yeah, with that coming on in, the side of EMPS Kids, well, they cling onto that lead for the time being. But again, 8-7 half still very much on the cards, especially with so much limited utility.
Yeah,
they're not going to be able to really be confident in this.
No, absolutely. And something that is worth noting is that Jack has had so much impact with the AWP in hand, but in this round, we're not going to be seeing one come out for the CT side. The AWP on Inferno is such a powerful weapon to have for your long player. Gives him the freedom to rotate and choose whichever angle he would like to play on. So Jack's going to be restricted in this round, that's for sure. Blackhand, they've gone for an early stack towards second mid here. Perhaps they'd like to take this mid pressure here early on. They've left Banana alone, just thrown a bit of nades here and there to at least show some presence. And a Molotov being lined up from Timo is going to block off the potential of any players behind that little sneaky roof, whatever you'd like to call it, on short there. Now the full A execute comes in.
I like that. I'll call it Sneaky Roof. I'll happily take ownership of a map I'm terrible at. But Fraser, thankfully not as bad as myself, catching a molly kill. Dexter is traded out. Timo finds one of his own, but Cypher, a precarious position, is going to be checked. Who comes out on top? It will be Cypher. Somehow, someway, bags another, leaving Jouster in another clutch scenario. A 1v2. He's got the bomb, but Moshi and Kreis have the opportunity to encroach on this position as a 2-man swing, and that's exactly not what they're going to do. They're going to miss a Molotov, smoke it back off, and swing straight into Jouster, but thankfully, Kreis is a little bit more clued on in, and catches Jouster in the nick of time. It will be 8 for EMPS Kids, but Blackhand, they do have the economy to reinvest, so it will still be a fight for that 8-7 half.
Absolutely. Honestly, this first half is delivered in a big way, and I'm impressed with both sides for different reasons. I feel like Blackhand has been reacting very well in the early to mid stages of their T sides. Where they've been struggling is in these retake scenarios where they've got to hold off with the lack of utility because they burn a lot of it so early on in the round. Now over on the other side, EMPS Kids, they seem to just have a little bit more patience when it comes to their late round scenarios. But here we have it, the final round of our first half. And this will decide, do EMPS Kids go up 9-6, or do Blackhand edge it with a 1-round gap between the two? Joshua, immediate aggression through the apartment, but he's missed his opportunity by a hair. But he continues to press the issue. Cypher rotates back on away. Joshua continues to push through and gain some control. Play a little sneaky beaky, as we like to call it, hey? But he's being hunted right now by Jouster, and a great kill from the man. Timo mops up Jack B elsewhere in the meantime, so a 2-man advantage for Blackhand, and 8-7's looking extremely likely.
Honestly, if he doesn't shoot there and he continues going on the full rear flank, I think this would have been a said and done round for EMPS Kids because they never would have expected it. But Cypher now has to go huge, finds 2 heads, finds 3 heads, finds 4 4 to the tally in the 1v1 now for the ace. Will Dink Dexter can't quite find all 5, but he has brought his teammates an absolute lifeline. Dexter now 1 versus 2 with the AWP, just 15 HP left to his name. He's got the right idea, peeking towards long, but he gets outswung by Moshi, and by God, Cypher, what a time to come alive! Picking up 4 in the final round of play with all the odds against them. Ending that half with 18 frags, an impeccable performance from the top 50 player.
I can tell you right now that Blackhand are fuming with the fact that that round has not gone their way. They have 4 players trying to isolate 1 man on the A bomb site, and the skill of Cypher showing why he's on ITB, showing what he's capable of at an individual level.
He's playing Just Dance 3 around the pillar.
Honestly, that was beautiful to see. Now, Fraser's taken a Glock to the face here early on. Zulu lining up a cheeky HE for the bomb planter, but will the bomb be planted default? In fact it is. He pulls the nade out just as Moshi peeks into him, and now Fraser on 8 HP. He's got the utility in hand, and the rotations all coming through the CT spawn. Already this is looking like an EMPS Kids round.
It certainly is, and my goodness, a flurry of frags again filling up the kill feed. Leaves us at a 10-6 impasse. That is a dangerous bit of territory for Blackhand to be edging into now. And they've gone for the force buy. I mean, they showed discipline back on Mirage, but this time around, well, we've already seen the Battle of the Force buys in the first half. Let's see if they can replicate the same level of success. You don't like it. I'm not particularly confident in it either. But EMPS Kids, they're going to be loving it if they can deal with this buy comfortably.
Absolutely. EMPS Kids, if they win this round, they essentially win the map. I feel like that's what this force buy has said. Blackhand have said, we are not going to give you the space that you think that we're going to. However, if we were to lose the round off the back of this bold purchase, this game is essentially over from an economic standpoint. Already, the A bomb site looks to be in the hands of the EMPS Kids. Joshua and Cypher with 2 quick entry kills. And what are you doing, Fraser? Get over to the other side of the map right now. Save that Deagle, save that armor. You want nothing to do with this round right now.
He's got the full Kevlar as well, even more worthwhile a save, but instead of just rotating back over to B, he's playing the dangerous exits game. I think it will probably... Well, I don't think it'll cost him his life from this scenario, but one thing that will do a lot of damage to him is the new bomb radius. If he decides to stay there up until the bomb explosion, he will go down because it's not planted default. If they get any more frags to their tally here, it's going to be a rough scenario for Blackhand to come back from. Great headshot from Dexter. But with that, Jack B does bag 1 more, and that was their MP9 player. A huge oversight, and also Timo 7 and 14, a 0.5 KD, and it isn't all about the kills and Counter-Strike, but when you come into the second half looking like that, looking rather dilapidated, and it's not just him either, it's not good for the confidence, and it's certainly not good for the economy.
Oh, this is a real head-in-your-hands moment for Blackhand here. I really feel like they have thrown their potential of getting this to a 1-1 to go to map 3 with that force buy early on here. Also losing that MP9. And a fast apps pop coming in here from the EMPS Kids. Just Fraser here, all by his lonesome. He gets shut down without a single frag to his name. And realistically, if you're Blackhand, you need to get some kills in your favour here. There's no point just saving from this position. You've got USPs, you've got 1 Deagle and armor, but he'll be able to rebuy next round anyway. Get some kills, put pressure on the economy of EMPS Kids, because if you do not, this game's said and done.
At the very least, send your USPs in as a unit. They suss out the location of 1 AK player. Oh, they're trying to bait them into the fight here. I do like this from them, but Jack B catches Dexter running away.
There's the Deagle.
And Jack B, my God, I know it's up against just pistols, but that's impeccable pre-aim. Kreitz as well, catches Zulu. That's money in the bank. And well, double the round count now of Blackhand for the EMPS Kids. It's a sorry state of affairs for the CT side, but it is still a bit of a bonus buy. Kreitz is still on that Mac 10. but honestly, that might be more of a help than a hindrance. This means he can go guns blazing as an entry fragger here, just jump out, take a couple of shots in, allow his rifle teammates to trade, and Blackcam, they need to be so careful about this aggression. Joshua finds an opener, Fraser does trade, and Timo's bullets are just a little too far to the left in order to capitalize on anyone pushing into the apartments.
Yeah, apartments control well in the hands of EMPS kids now, and I don't think Blackhand are going to be expecting Jack B to be in this far forward of a position already. In comes the pop, no flashbang required. Krives hits the deck, but Moshi immediately able to trade. Dexter's gone huge with a double kill from the pit though, and that keeps this round alive. Cypher, well, I won't say die when this man's still alive, because he's done incredible things on this map already, but with a Galil in hand and a 1 versus 3 ahead of him, he's unable to get the first frag of the clutch attempt, and Blackhand a saving grace for them there. The money still well in favour of the EMPS kids though, as this one is going to be a real struggle for Blackhand. They need to get back into it with a couple more rounds.
Well, this is the first full buy round for both teams here because of the Galil and MP9 that was being used on EMPS kids previously. Not MP9, you know what I mean. But coming into this one, there's a 5-round deficit for Blackhand. Obviously, they need to win this one, and Jack B, my goodness, a heap of damage early doors, and if he shuffles forward any further, he might just go down to the Molotov. Instead, goes down to a swing from Fraser, but it's a 1-for-1 trade as Christ chimes in. In the 4v4 now, Blackhand in a dangerous position with only a lone player on this B site, but the Molotov does delay things further. In fact, that was a T-side Molotov, it just doesn't go deep enough. And with a quick weapon switch coming on in, well, this has bought enough time for a rotation.
Yeah, think about this one from the Blackhand perspective. You know for a fact you've got control of middle, so they're well aware of the potential of a B play. However, Zulu gets caught pants down. Dexter, at least good for one trade through the smoke, is going to make this round still doable for Blackhand on the retake. They've got plenty of utility to work with, and they have a kit as well. What needs to happen here is they need to be able to trade effectively. In comes the smoke for the top of Banana, and that's a well-positioned one. The Molotov just to clear the close side. Dexter's positioned well for it, but gets cut down by the AWP of Cypher. Jouster trades with the Molotov, but Timo now 1 versus 2, able to get the first kill onto the high HP player. He's got a kit in hand. Joshua 3 health to work with, but he's not taking the fake at all.
No, he
Timo
missed.
swings on his heels, but has he got time? No, in fact he does not. He tries to scarper away, and I believe he'll survive by the skin of his teeth, but EMPS kids are now 3 rounds away from taking this series 2-0.
Oh, I thought that miss was going to be at the end of it, but there's not enough time on the bomb. That is so upsetting for Blackhand. They fought that round tooth and nail. It was a decent retake attempt, especially finding the AWPer, eliminating that crossfire. But man, EMPS kids, they're just leading the charge here, and with Dexter on a USP, Timo and Fraser the only rifled players. Well, they will find the opening frag, and I don't even know what to expect from this game anymore. Blackhand could still very well come back into this, but as Cypher deals a killing blow to Zulu, it looks further and further from a possibility. As soon as I say that, another headshot comes through from Fraser, a real hero in these past couple of rounds, as it's the USP of Dexter to get another one down, and Fraser swings on it at the perfect time, leaving just Jack B in a 1v3. He actually hits Fraser there. And then everything falls to pieces as the rest of the team rotate on in. 5-round deficit again, but I don't really know what's going on.
What a classic UK CS round to lose if you're EMPS kids. You've got everything going for you. The economy of Blackhand is so shaky with only 2 rifles brought into the round, and yet it all falls apart in front of their very eyes. Now Blackhand crawl their way back into the game. They finally have control of their CT side of the economy, and if they can win this round without losing too many bodies, then we can really start to talk about a comeback.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Triple headshots on the spray down. Moshi manages to recover an M4 for the time being, but Zulu cuts down Jack B and Moshi just as well. So a fairly clean round, only losing Jouster there. That's going to give Blackhand the boost they need to get back into this one.
Yeah, 4-round deficit on an Inferno means very little if you've got the fortitude to just drag those couple of extra rounds over the line, especially when your economy is the one in the lead. But EMPS kids, they're looking to retain that lead with a bit of a half buy here. They've got the Mac 10 on Moshi, and they've got a decent bit of util to use it. They're looking to really apply the pressure towards top banana. And, oh, that's the bomb already. Christ, very unfortunate. Cut down through smoke. Zulu finds one more. And incredible amount of damage onto Cypher. This could very well be a 0-kill round for EMPS Kids, as what looked like it could have been something. Well, Jack B does find a frag, but what looked like it could have been something is very quickly being walked all over as Cypher jumps straight into a crossfire, and that is double digits now for Black Hand. Another game that we cannot count them out of.
Okay, here we are. An all-important swing round here. Of course, it's not the end of the world for Black Hand economically if they lose the round. However, it puts them within 2 rounds of losing the entire series. The nerves are going to be incredibly high here for the Black Hand side. And if you're EMPS Kids, I imagine they're going to be breathing the confidence out of them right now, simply because they're a map up. They're 3 rounds away from being able to take this one. They know they've got Black Hand on the ropes. And they've called a pause just to make sure that they can get this one really clarified between the 5 players on this T side and make sure the strategy is well known by everyone on the server. So,
Krives
hasn't bought anything right now. He's a little bit late out the spawn. Dexter with the AWP in hand, though. I hope we can see some impact from him.
Well, the last time I casted Cypher was in Republic, and I held a funeral for him and Into the Breach after they lost the first map. Not only have they not lost the first map here, they're also leading the charge in the second, so no funeral attire required from me just yet. But if Black Hand are able to pull this one over the line, I might need to whip out the robes again, because I don't know if they'd be able to take having such a lead and letting things slip to the wayside. I think if we do go to Vertigo, Black Hand will be able to pick things back up, but it's Christ to find the opening frag. Give Razor to trade, but oh! Dexter! It's the collateral towards B, leaving just Cypher in the 1v1 now as he cuts down Dexter through the smoke. This is such a back and forth affair as Timo, he's got it all to do in the clutch. Cypher falls away to Banana after planting on mid-site. Well, okay, now that he's dropped that smoke, Timo knows exactly where he's residing, but Timo, oh, he's going to flash through! He's looking towards Banana! It's time for decapitates him! I was starting to build up a storyline here, Icon, but no! EMPS Kids, they're on to 14! One more needed to secure in overtime, and despite the tragic economy, that's a tragic outcome for Black Hand!
I have lost all faith in humanity. I couldn't have planned that round any stranger if I had tried. Honestly, Dexter, we thought he had saved the round with that collateral there, but of course, who else but Cypher to get the trade through a smoke and to win out that 1 versus 1 against Timo. Timo's been having a hard series overall, and to throw him into that clutch was asking a lot from him, but of course Cypher, he's always ready for the task. This round though, Fraser on the AWP is going to open things up. The double AWP comes out in the form of Dexter as well. And now a 2-man advantage for the Black Hand side. This game is not done just yet. But until we see Black Hand get up to a better status in terms of economy and in terms of round count, I can't say that I see them getting back into this one just yet.
Well, they're giving EMPS Kids a taste of their own medicine from back on Mirage, where they just bullied them on CT side with a double AWP setup. Is what Joshua and Jack B going absolutely insane on that A bomb site. But Fraser, for the time being, has been forced back away. And Zulu, he's seen on the cross as the flashbangs rain on in. Does drop a flash of his own, but forced into a precarious position as another God flash comes over from the top from his teammate. Christ allowed to capitalize relatively easily, but Dexter chimes on in as well. Zulu should catch one above the smoke, but instead it's Joshua. It's all down to a game of timings here. A smoke now dropped towards CT, and there is still a chance for EMPS Kids. The Molotov falls just too short to deny a plant, and another smoke is deployed to delay things further. Joshua catches Dexter in the midst of all the madness, and this could still be a 15 for EMPS Kids after Black Hand again whittle themselves an advantage.
2 versus 2, and the HP advantage well in favour of the Black Hand side, as is the utility. But look, the AWP of Joshua just missing the mark. Moshi gets ignored, but Timo on the swivel is able to trade Joust there. And that's Black Hand's 11th on the board. They keep the game alive still. EMPS Kids economy's back down in the doldrums, as you like to put it, Sneaky. And now we've got a game on our hands.
Oh man, this is just all over the place. Every post plant is a new way for madness to just seep its way into the server. EMPS Kids, they've gone for another pistol investment. We saw what happened last time, not a single kill to their name. Will they be able to make at least a little more damage than just tickling Yauster? Blackhand. They've got a pretty nice setup themselves. In fact, Yauster on the MP9 could be a key piece in dealing with these pistols. They've also heard this boost up into the... In fact, no, I don't think they have heard this boost up into the apartments. But Dexter, well, he's going to see 3 people running towards short. Won't be able to save his teammate. Does trade, but Timo, that is lovely. 2 to the tally.
Let's go.
Make it a third. And Cypher, 1v4. Pistol might catch one here. Does deal with an AWPer. But hot swapping to the MAC-10 will be his demise. Not that he would have had enough ammo really anyway to deal with that second player from long. Valiant effort, but only 2 rounds now separate these 2 teams. And, well, you've already had a pretty long Inferno series today. We could even be going further with the way these 2 teams are shaping up. And there is the opportunity for a buy on this T side now. And with Jack B already investing, I reckon that will be the ploy. Are we calling an overtime here? Is this on the
You know
cards?
what? I think the fact that Timo is able to get that 3k on the pit defense, he's now managed to get himself back positive.
Bit of
Such a
confidence.
great sign for Blackhand. Now they really have a solid 5 players who have all come to play. The confidence is back in. And honestly, this is the round. This is what is going to decide it all here. Do Blackhand bow out after 2 very, very close maps? Or do we see them manage to resurge back into this game? If they're able to take this round, once again, EMPS Kids are back down onto a weird bye. They'll go down to the half. We'll find ourselves at 14-14, and it could very well be overtime.
Oh, Jouster goes down early, but Timo with a gorgeous trade. Dimo and Dexter filling up the kill feed, leaving us in a 3v2 scenario, and that Molotov is lethal. Another Molotov from Cypher, though, to reply, and it is still pandemonium on the A-bomb site. Cypher does catch a frag with that molly, but Fraser is there to seal the deal. And, well, as Cody said earlier, it wouldn't be a LAN without an incredibly lengthy game to finish out the day in the best of 3.
Timo have had back-to-back 3k rounds. He has woken up in the later stages of this game. We've got loads of utility on the CT side. The Deagles are out in hand of EMPS Kids. However, it would be typical UKCS if Blackhand were to lose this round, and I don't want to curse it, so I'm just going to shut my mouth when it comes to predictions and do the play-by-play.
That's alright, that's my job. I'm the king of cursing Counter-Strikers, I'm sure you reminisce. But Cypher, well, he's reminiscent of better times back when he was able to win Inferno games! Christ! Jesus Christ almighty, as you might say. A nice decapitation there towards Coffins, and Jouster, well, he's looking to do one back, but no, avoided due to the smoke dropping right in his face, and with this they could hedge their bets towards CT, but instead they're going to encapsulate poor old Timo on this A-bomb site. He's been spotted in the pit, and another headshot! Double C, Cypher and Christ chiming on in with the pistols, and it could be, as you said, a very UK-style round as the pistols start to swarm. Timo's still left alive, he's been spotted, he gets cut down by Cypher again! Oh no! The Blackhand players, they've been isolated! They can't come back into this A-bomb site, and honestly, it's got to be the save call!
Without a doubt, the save call. At least they've dealt with Cripes, the lone man, already going for the hunt as he's aware his teammates have got full control of that A-bomb site. Dexter and Fraser, they need to get away with both of these rifles in hand because look at the money on Timo. Look at the money on Jouster. There's not going to be a situation where if these 2 players go down, there's not going to be a competitive round going forwards. They're going for the retake attempt though. They do not want to concede this one, and they've thrown the game away. EMPS Kids up to 15, 1 round away from finishing this series 2-0, and Blackhand's economy nowhere to be seen.
Oh, it's very reminiscent of Mirage, the hero rifle and the upgraded pistols to send us out of this well, I say send us out. We just saw what happened with a very weak buy on the side of EMPS Kids. So who knows where this game is going? But all things considered, 2 MP9s, 2 5.7s and an A1S should not stand up to a full utility AK-47 buy. And EMPS Kids know this. They know this is their best chance to close out the game. If they throw this one, they will not only be throwing an opportunity at a, well, not swift, but a clean 2-0. But they'll also be knocking their confidence heavily. I know that Black can get very, very loud when they win the crucial rounds, and that has definitely been playing on the mentality of the EMPS Kids side. They need to shut them up where they're sitting. And Fraser, with that hero A1S, if he's removed early, I think that's the game. They need to be so careful, and he's just been spotted pixel jumping towards the half wall.
I think this game would be doing us an injustice if we didn't see overtime at this stage, Sneaky. I do really feel like just UKCS demands it from these two teams with the way that these games have been playing out. I cursed it. We said, I'm going to shut up and make no predictions, and then EMPS Kids run away with such a diabolically dumb round, sneaking through that deep, long smoke. They managed to wrap onto the A-bomb site, and Timo just had too many angles to deal with.
I mean, the one digging towards Library as well was just the icing on the cake. After Crisis opener onto Coffins, and, well, talking of Coffins, there's no one there this time. Instead, it's a second orange quad positioning, and Crives again, the man to open up. Fraser, though, he's going to find a double. If he can find a third, they're still hoping this round, but he's completely overwhelmed towards the dark angle of sight, and Jouster is left to do the pickings. Finds one towards Church. As the bomb goes down, it's another 2v2. Jouster has a rifle, but only 6 points of health. This is not going to be easy by any means. Timo now, 100 HP, is given over the A4. They've got a smoke and a flashbang to deal with this retake. And Cypher and Moshi, well, they've got the rifles, they've got a flashbang, and they've got all the time left on that bomb to play with. Crossfire coming on in. Cypher and Moshi, they land the first. Last alive is Timo. It's dire straits. The Glock keeping him at bay. And surely he can't stick in a fuse like this. It was madness to even attempt it, but it's 16-13 now to EMPS Kids. And what a crazy way to finish this best of three. Two of the top seeded teams in this entire tournament. And that is the way that Black Hand will fall. Congratulations to EMPS Kids on a crazy 2-0 in a wild best of three. And honestly, that was an incredible game, and I'm very glad that I got to cast it with you. I agree.
Okay. What a first round of the playoffs, man. That was the number 1 and number 2 teams predicted to make it to finalists, and they go up head to head with a game like that. That felt like a final to me. That was so intense, so back and forth. Both teams really did come to play. I have to credit Blackhand. They really did make some great rounds of those situations. They reacted well in a lot of spaces as well. It just seemed like luck really wasn't in their favour this game, you know. Timings that Zulu was getting in the back of the B bomb site were eluding him constantly. Timo had a really slow start to the game. Yeah. But with things all said and done, it will be EMPS Kids moving forward in the upper bracket. Of course, Blackhand, they're not out just yet. They'll be heading down into the lower bracket, and they're going to have to make a hell of a deep run if they want to make those finals now, Sneaky.
Oh, man, the lower bracket, as I said, it really is the lower bracket of death. You think that the lower bracket in Cologne is tough, then come down to Kettering. I mean, it's going to be even more disastrous than Males eliminating Heroic, I tell you that for free, with the favourites of Blackhand, the only solid roster here, outside of a couple of university teams who struggled to make it really the distance. Well, again, they have the targets on their back. This was their tournament to lose. But I'll tell you what else that we need to go and lose now. We need to go and lose in the pub quiz for the final 10 minutes they've got left. So without much further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time we sign off the stream for today. But before we do, happy birthday again to B-Dog, the sexy fella himself. And also massive shout out to our production behind the scenes, our wonderful observer and producer behind us. Much love. And yeah, with that, is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off today?
I'd like to go to bed now.
Fair enough. And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, good night.